Okay, Year 10, welcome to your video tutorial on parallel lines and angles. Today we're going to have a look at all of those things that happened in that Kahoot last lesson, all the parallel lines and all the angles that form when a transversal or a straight line cuts through two parallel lines. Okay, corresponding angles are the first one. You would have learnt this from Year 7. I'm going to do some weird things in this unit. This is the first one. I don't call them corresponding angles, I call them corresponding. And I'm going to tell you why. It's a way to remember which one's which, okay? Here's the angle here, and that one's corresponding to that. They're corresponding, yeah? They correspond to each other. But I call it corresponding because what you can actually draw with them is an F. And the two letters of the F, like the two arms of the F, that's where the angles fit under. It'll work this way as well. This is like an on the side F, that way. That F's on the side, and then there's the corresponding angles underneath it. So basically I like to think of it like an F. Those ones go in there, boom, boom, corresponding. And they are equal. So say this was, I don't know, 120, that's going to be 120. Cool, alternate angles. The way I remember this one is what's the most alternate letter in the alphabet? It's the one that's least used. People either go with X, or Z. Okay, I go with Z. It's the most alternate. It's the weirdest. I never use the letter Z. Okay, if these angles here are alternate, I can actually draw a Z, and they're both on the insides of the Z. So that's on the inside of that arm. That's on the inside of that arm. Again, these two angles are alternate. I draw a Z. If I can draw a Z, this is a sideways Z. Yeah, and that's on the inside, and that's on the same inside. I call them alternate. Okay, so alternate angles are also equal. So say this one here was 113, that's going to be 113. Okay, co-interior are slightly easier. Sorry, I drew this on the computer. Obviously, should have photoshopped it and made it better. Okay, that angle there is co-interior to this angle here. This angle here is co-interior to that angle there. Basically, it means it's on the interior or the inside of the parallel lines. Okay, how I remember co-interior is, look what letter they form. Boop, boop. A C. Okay, now this one's like an upside down on the side C. Okay, but they both form a C. And unlike their friends, the corresponding and the alternate angles, they actually add up to 180. So corresponding equal, alternate equal, co-interior 180. Okay, adjacent angles was the other idea from the video tutorial. Adjacent angles are pretty straightforward. There's two types, complementary and supplementary. Complementary add up to 90, so if you get given a 90-degree angle and say, what's the size of this angle in here, and then they usually draw it bigger or smaller or with a different number of lines, and that angle in there, these two are complementary. If they get given to you on a 180-degree line, and it's usually like a line going up like that, and it says that angle and that angle, okay, their relationship, the relationship between those two is supplementary. They add up to 180 because they're on a straight line. Cool, vertically opposite angles are heaps easy. Vertically opposite angles. If you have two lines that cross each other at the point at which they intersect, okay, the angles on either side will be equal. That'll always be equal to that. This will always be equal to this because they're vertically opposite. Okay, but there has to be an intersection point, okay, and there has to be two straight lines to get those vertically opposite angles. Cool, what would you be asked to do? Well, find the values of the pronumerals, write down the reason in each case. This is the bit that you guys aren't good at. Write down the reason in each case, okay. Well, let's start with A, okay. A is this guy in here, okay. The only measurement I get given is 150, so that's what I need to start with, okay. If I look, okay, I've got given 150 from there to there, okay. What's this little guy in here going to be? Well, A is going to be supplementary, okay. So A is going to, supplementary angles add up to 180 because they're on a straight line. So it's going to be 180 minus 150 equals 30 degrees. And my reason is supplementary. And that's really bad writing. Supplementary, okay. That's my first one. Okay, next, okay, now that I know that A is, what I'm going to do with A is I'm going to write 30 degrees in there, okay. I know C, I might write them smaller, I might see if I can get them all on there. I know C has a relationship with A, okay? And that relationship is co-interior, okay? So they form a C, because there's my two parallel lines indicated by these arrows. There's the transversal, the straight line that cuts through them, okay? And they form a C, okay? So that one there, angle C is going to be 180, because co-interior angles are 180. 180 minus 30, because their relationship is co-interior. 50 degrees, reason co-interior. Okay, so C is now 50 degrees. Okay, knowing C is 50 degrees, I can actually backtrack and work out B. Okay, B, I can say it's supplementary to C. There's also another fun fact about B that I can work out. Okay, so I could have gone, okay, B is supplementary to C, so 180 minus 50 gives me 30. But I can also look in here and say, well, B is actually alternate to A as well. So B, I'm going to use alternate just because it's something different. B is 30 degrees, and the reason why is alternate angles are equal. Okay, alternate angles equal. Okay, now D, a few options there. You could say, well, B is 30 degrees, D is co-interior to B, they'll add up to 180, but I actually also like to see it the other way, okay? I also like to see it that, let's try using a different reasoning. D is also vertically opposite to the original. So D is actually 150, reason, vertically opposite. Okay, always have to give a reason, yeah? Always have to make sure you give those reasons. Okay, decide with reasons whether or not the given lines are parallel. Well, I'm going to say A. They look parallel, okay, but that doesn't actually matter, okay? Unless I get indicated that, that's the only thing that definitively tells me that they are parallel, okay? Definitively tells me graphically, like drawn on the thing, that they're parallel. If they just look at but don't have those lines, they may not necessarily be parallel. These ones look at and they don't have the lines, so they may not necessarily be parallel, so we have to use some other information that's on there. Well, I know alternate angles in parallel lines are equal. So I know this is listed as 120. Is that angle alternate to it? Yeah, and they're both on the inside. Okay, so A is going to be parallel. Okay, and with my reasons is it has to be because of parallel lines. Oh, sorry, because of alternate angles equal in parallel lines. They are. Okay, let's have a look at B. Let's see if B is parallel. Okay, they don't look parallel, which is kind of a dead giveaway, but what's another way I can check? Well, the relationship between this angle here and this angle here are co-interior. In parallel lines, co-interior angles should add up to 180. Okay, so B they should equal 180, so 50 plus 120 equals 170. They're not actually co-interior because they don't add up to 180. So B are not parallel, because if they were parallel, those two would add up to 180.